Yo, what's poppin', guys? You got your boy Nandra here. Welcome to another video. So for this video, I wanted to talk about one of the more like unexplored versions of card advantage, which is the art of creating dead cards. Now, when I say dead cards, I mean cards that are for whatever reason unplayable in the current situation. Like for example, if you're staring down like it's like 16 damage on board or whatever, your opponent is at like 12 and you have a Genesis Dragon in hand, well, in that case, the Genesis Dragon would be a dead card because like it doesn't actually do anything in the situation. It's a good card, obviously, but it doesn't actually do anything in the situation, and therefore that makes it like irrelevant. Now, creating dead cards is actually like really easy to do for the most part, and it's also really good at being able to steal you games, just because depending on how hard your opponent is aiming to play for like some game plan of some sort, if you can recognize the game plan early enough and you can go ahead and derail the game plan, then usually it makes like anywhere from like 1 to maybe even 3 or 4 up to 3 to 4 cards just like dead in their hand, just like dead in the water like a fish, that don't actually do anything in the situation. Now, for example, a really good class to do this versus is actually that of Haven, just because most Haven removals usually require the unit to be at about exactly 3 or less HP. Like for example, Scripture, Cudgel, Tea Time Evolve, Dark Jean, or sorry, not Dark Jean, Bacon Jean. Dark Jean requires them to be at like 2 or lower, things like that. And when you can do it, like you can really see the effects. Like for example, I had a game today where I had a unit I was at 4 HP. My Haven opponent was out of Evos, couldn't kill it, and I then proceeded to do 13 damage with said unit. Things like that. It just like snowballs out of control. Now, obviously, as I said before, like you can do this versus like many classes. It doesn't have to be just versus Haven. It can also be versus like things like Dragon, things like Sword, so on and so forth. Now, the type of dead card that you can create, it varies obviously from class to class. Like for example, versus Sword, a nice breakpoint, and this is something that I've mentioned like several times in many of my Sword related videos, is that if you can generate a creature that has 5 HP or better on a clean board, and the unit does not have 5 attack, most times it's backbreaking for Sword to deal with it. Like off the top of my head, they're only about like 3 units that they play in the mid game, which aren't even like hella common anymore, and that are Barbosa, Melissa, and then also White Ridge Swordsmen that are able to clear them off perfectly. Like if they play anything else, they can't do it, and they just have to like let you keep the creature. But in this game, letting your opponent keep a creature is usually tantamount to borderline, kind of like inting, kind of like suicide sort of. Now, the game I'm about to show you is actually gonna be one such game where, while I was versus an opponent who played for a game plan, I recognized the game plan I played for, and I proceeded to go ahead and make his card just like dead in the water for like several turns, and eventually like the fact that the other card is like actually dead in the water is ultimately what ends up killing him. So we'll go ahead and hop into the game. Alright, now this game is versus Dragon. Now, right now, as you may know, if you've been playing ladder, Dragon is really popular right now because Feline is a really good card. Now, Feline is, really strong. Make no mistake, the card is really strong, but there are some play arounds, and this actually coincidentally kind of shows you some of the play arounds they can go for when you're playing Forest. Like, this doesn't quite work as well unless you're playing Forest, or unless you're playing, I guess, like Portalcraft technically, but. So I go ahead and I keep the Venus in my hand. I toss the other 2 cards back though. Venus for me is really good in general versus Dragon, just because it's a 4/5. Again, Dragon happens to be one of those classes in the mid game. If they don't have a creature in play, then having a 5 HP unit is so difficult for them to clear, because it usually involves them having to Evo your unit and then also having to use a removal spell as well. Like for example, a play that'll probably happen is usually like, say your opponent plays Roy, takes Dragon Strife, evolves the Roy, plays Dragon Strife into your Venus, and then like suicides. But in the end, that still gives you a +1. You still get initiative, things like that. It's just a backbreaking card for Dragon to deal with a lot of the time. Alright, so as always, we go ahead and we check his mulligans. We see that he redrew 1 card, so we can safely assume that he probably has Oracle in hand, or maybe he just has 2 drops, because Dragon has a lot of good 2 drops at the moment. So he plays the Feline. So again, we have confirmation, 100% confirmation that there's a Feline in hand. Now, one thing you want to do when you're playing versus cards that generate cards is that you want to be able to, like, kind of like, if you have it you know, go ahead and take it on a piece of paper, go ahead and, you know, make a slight like notation, or maybe if you're playing on the computer, go ahead and open up an Excel spreadsheet, you know, go ahead and make a slight notation that, oh, this is the card that's in their hands, this way you don't like lose track of it. Alright, so I go ahead and I respond with my Paula. Now the Paula's kind of nice because he can't kill it, I can't kill his thing until he shows me that he can't kill my thing, because he plays a Blazing Breath, but he also plays Nest. Now the Nest gives me good information. I now know that this is either Ramp Dragon or it's Limworm. Now my money is on Limworm because I know people really love Limworm right now, and that's fine. So here he plays the Young Waters of the Orca. I'm like, okay, all right, I see you, bet, keep going. All right, and this is fine, because now what I'm gonna do is ordinarily I would go ahead and I would, you know, go ahead and play Brambles here, maybe say make a value trade or something like that, or maybe even say play Brambles, trade here, play Insect Lord, evolve the Insect Lord over whichever one of these lived. But that's not a winning play. You might think it's a winning play, but long term it is not a winning play. Right now, versus Dragon, how they beat you in the mid game is that they force you to play into Feline removal spell, and then they get to go ahead and do free things, knowing full well that they can go ahead and also remove pressure while also drawing cards in the process, and making you fall further and further behind, because at that point you're like, oh, well, if I commit onto the board now, in order to, you know, go ahead and, you know, get big, I can get shut down hard by AoE. So what you want to do is you want to kind of force them to use the AoE first, then make your play, then make another play afterwards. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and go for the let's see what you got play. By going ahead and playing out the Brambles, right? We play out the Brambles, then we go ahead and make the value trade into the Feline, and then we go ahead and play our 2 fairies. Now you might be saying, oh, but Nandra, why did you do this? Like, this plays really hard in a Force of Newt. Well, 2 things. 1, Force of Newt isn't actually a 3-open dragon, which I know seems surprising, but no, it's actually like a 2-open dragon. So if he has it, that's fine. I don't care. Like, what I care about is the fact that I don't play into this Feline spell. Like, I want to see how he's going to react to this. So, like, one thing about Feline is that most times your opponent is going to want to kill at least a 4-drop with this. Like, they're either going to want to kill a 4-drop, or they're going to want to kill a unit that you evolved. So you really do not want to make evolves unless you absolutely have to, once your opponent has given you complete confirmation that you have the Feline spell the Feline spell up. Simply because, like, is your Evo worth a Feline spell? No, the fuck it is not. So here he plays Sun and Moon, the young Sun and Moon for Tsukiyomi, or sorry, for Amaterasu. I'm sorry. Now, it's actually nice for me that I have the Brambles up, because, like, one thing you really do not want Limworm players to do is go for Tsukiyomi. Tsukiyomi is actually a lot scarier than Amaterasu, unless of course you're forced with like Brambles and things like that. So he makes the trade. I'm like, okay, sure. He makes a smart trade. I like this play. I like this trade from him. Generally speaking, when you evolve a unit into a Brambles board, you want to actually trade into the fairies. You don't want to actually trade into the actual strong unit, simply because, generally speaking, most times that unit drops you down to 1 HP, making a free kill for Brambles later, and that's bad. So here he makes another trade. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, nice. He took the bait. He played chicken. All right, so the reason why I did not like this the reason why I didn't like my opponent making the trade there is because he has 4 creatures. I have 2. Like, just keep your creature, just get your face damage, right? But he doesn't do it, and that's fine. So this turn, I like this turn a ton, because by him granted, it didn't really matter, but by him going face, or by him making the trade and give me an extra board space, this is nice, because now I get a window of opportunity. So what I know that my opponent is going to do next turn is I know that my opponent is going to seek to use his Feline spell, and then possibly draw 2 cards, and possibly draw two or more cards in the process, by maybe say playing Singer, or maybe say, you know, doing other things, because that's how Dragon aims to beat you in the mid game. Is like I said, like they aim to go ahead and use their 2-mana Feline spell to then go ahead and facilitate them to, or sorry, enable them to do like some like greedy drawing stuff, like say maybe, I don't know, like maybe say playing like Singer, or maybe say like playing Galua, things like that. So if you can turn that off, you know, create dead cards, they're in the business. So what I'll go ahead and do here is I had a lot of different lines to go ahead and do, but none of them felt as good as this line that we're about to go ahead and go for, which is me playing the second copy of Brambles. I play second copy of Brambles. It gives me 2 more fairies. I go ahead and I play out one of the fairies, also play out the rain. Now, generally speaking, the order that I played out these things, like, it didn't, in this particular instance, it doesn't matter because it's rain, but generally speaking, when you have this, you want to, if you can, play out the fairy and then play out Paula if you had it, because it would also give you something similar. But again, it doesn't matter here. So what I get to do is I get to go ahead and play out my fairy. I've now activated my condition of played 3 cards this turn. So what I can go ahead and do is I can go ahead and actually evo my rain, and then go ahead and make trades and get full clear across the board. Now I played the second copy of Brambles because what this lets me do is it makes so all 3 of my creatures live. All 3 of them live, and most importantly, the big one, Rain is still at full HP. At full HP, it means that he cannot kill this unless he either evolves a unit over me, plays an AoE. Again, if he plays an AoE, that means he has to play Conflag here. Conflag is a losing play. If he plays that Conflag, he will lose this game. And do things like that. Now, the other nice thing is that I have so many creatures in play that he cannot do greedy stuff this turn. Like, he really cannot afford to. So I'll go ahead and, again, make all the trades. And then most importantly, and this is also the biggest one, is that the Feline spell that's in his hand, it's currently dead unless he wants to use the Feline spell on my 2/1. Now, I personally think that, you know, me having him use his Feline spell on a 1-drop that I got for free off a card that also killed other cards, fucking K. Meaning that if he does that, he's losing this game again. So many ways for him to lose this game. That's good for us, because right now he's in a really tough spot. Because fun fact, Dragon, even though Overflow activates on 7 for a very, very long time, and even now there aren't many good things that you can play on 7. Like, granted, you can play Saha on 7 or whatever, right? But that's fine. You know, Saha doesn't exist in rotation, and that's good. So his turns are very, very awkward now. So he has a few different options he can go for. One option is he can go ahead and possibly play PDK, and then go ahead and play Aficionado, and then possibly get like some snipes, and maybe get like really, really lucky with some of the snipes. Or, you know, he can just, you know, play, I don't know, like Galua or something like that. But that's not a winning play, because any unit he plays to evolve over my Rain, it just dies, because I have 2 Brambles, which means that this Rain hits for 6. That's terrifying. And that's, you know, that's good for me. So we'll go ahead and see him actually play the Vouch Strike. Again, not really a winning play for him. I didn't really like that play at all, but that's fine. Again, like I said, most Dragon players, what they'll do is they'll just draw a bunch of cards in the mid game to kind of just, you know, do nothing really, and just like watches you like slowly kill them. It's very, very fun for me. Anyway, so this turn, we finally get to play our Venus. I'm like, okay, sure. So I go ahead and slam in on Venus immediately. I could have possibly played Fashionista Nelcha, and then also played Insect Lord as well, in order to this way or not Insect Lord, I'm sorry, play Fairy Square as well, in order this way I would go ahead and fill up my curve properly. But I don't actually need to do that. All I need to do is have this unit out here. I like having this unit out because it serves as a massive, and I mean massive, deterrent to him playing Conflag. Because if he plays a Conflag, and we're gonna make him want to play Conflag, this survives and proceeds to hit him in the face again. Now, one thing you may not know about Dragon players is that most Dragon players, they do not understand the importance of just, you know, using AoEs, no matter how inefficient it might seem at the time, simply because you don't want to get hit more. So even if he does that Conflag here, he's probably not going to use it, and that's good. We can go ahead and pray off of that and make him never want to use Conflag. So I'll go ahead and actually evolve my 1/1. Now, when you're versus Limworm, and again, when you're versus Confirmed Limworm and things like that, you want to be going very, very fast in the mid game. You want to be able to just, you know, shut them down, have a lot of pressure, make it so that when they play that first Limworm, if it's not killing you, you're killing them. So we're just gonna evolve that, and we go ahead and make our trades, or not trades, we go face. So again, another part, which is why I paused again once more. So some people might ask me, okay, why didn't you evolve the 2/1, right? Why didn't you evolve the? I don't like evolving the 2/1. The reason why I don't like evolving the 2/1 is I want the 2/1 to be there, you know, kind of sitting as like juicy bait for my opponent, just, you know, kind of like a rat trap or something like that. Because the Feline spell, he still can't use it. He still can't use it unless he picks up another Feline. Now, granted, it's certainly possible for him to pick up another Feline, because he did just draw 5 cards over the last like turn and a half, right? But if he picks up another Feline, the Feline itself isn't actually that useful, because it kills possibly like 2 units, right? It kills like 2 units, but it uses up his last evolve, and it develops a 2x in the process, which I can just go ahead and just like clear off for free, while also, you know, developing more threats and things like that. I can just, you know, I can just like escalate the game state and things like that. So he's kind of put himself back in, he's kind of like backed himself up into a corner here, and that's good for me. So I go ahead and play up the fairy, and let's, you know, go ahead and pass once more. Conflag is not good. Force and Mute, however, is actually pretty good, but Conflag's not good. So here he plays out Roy after playing on Oracle. Again, at this point in the game, he really should not have been drawing. I don't know why he spent 2 mana to draw there. I would not have done that there. Like, it's really greedy and really disrespectful. Anyway, so he plays with the Roy, then he plays out a Feline. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, now imagine if he hadn't played out the Oracle. I mean, granted, we don't know for sure which of the two of these they actually rolled off the top, but I'm assuming it was the Feline. Either way, I don't actually like the way he did this, simply because like he can only guaranteed get rid of 2 units this turn, but he has to use up his Feline, he has to use up his last evolve, and he also puts himself in a spot where I can still punish him for this play, because like things like Cassio are really good. So he makes the evolve on the Feline, he kills off my 2/1. Again, this is fine, it doesn't matter. It's already achieved its goal. It's already done what it wanted. It's already done the thing that it was like supposed to, and that's fine. Yeah, we'll take it. So here, we're going into the turn 7. So this turn, also really important, because 2 things are true right now. 1, we haven't actually verified whether or not that he has Frenzy Drake. However, we have verified that he has 2 Feline spells in hand. He got 1 spell on 2. He got another one just now. He hasn't used either one of them. So my main priority is keeping my 2 existing creatures like at full HP. At full HP, he's forced to use AoE that his deck might not have, that he might not have in hand. Because even though he's drawn a lot of cards, like all we've seen him do is largely play just, you know, the same cards this entire turn, or this entire time. And that's, you know, that's good for us. So what we'll go ahead and do here is we'll go ahead and make a line that's an aggressive midway line. And that is to go ahead and, you know, play at the young fashionista. We'll go ahead and grab the black dress. Now, some people might be wondering, but Nandro, why did you grab black dress and not actually angel dress? Because you can actually play angel dress this same turn. The reason why I did not grab angel dress is because I want to make sure that I have an answer to Frenzy Drake when Frenzy Drake comes down. Now, granted, like, I could draw, you know, a Cassio off the top or something like that, and, you know, that'd be like okay, right? Because they'd be able to clear it. However, I want to make sure that I have as many that I have as many demon justices as possible, because you never know when your opponent's gonna like randomly throw down a Zeus or something like that. Because demon just like it basically prevents Dragon from going tall ever. Like he simply cannot do it, because if I demon trust him and I just make a trade and kill off his unit for free, easy game, easy clap. So from there, I'll go ahead and play out my Insect Lord, as well as my Harvest Festival. The Insect Lord does 3-1 unit. I go ahead and actually evolve the Insect Lord to kill off the second unit. And again, this part is important. The reason why I made sure to evolve the Insect Lord and not my Nelcha, or even just, you know, or even just evolve my Venus and go face, is because 1, I'm nowhere near close to, well, I'm kind of close to killing him, but the extra face damage won't matter. So basically, like, so the Venus evolve is out of the question. However, we need to evolve something to protect our board. We evolve the Insect Lord because Insect Lord is 150,000% disposable. Like, it's already done its job. It's already, you know, got me 2 kills. And it's already got me some face pressure. The point to drop him down to 8. We drop him down to 8. That's in Jungle Warden range, which means he has to heal, but he's never gonna get a chance to heal and clear this board, and that's a big deal. And that's good. Like, the other reason is because, like, again, we know that he has the Feline spells. Because he has the Feline spells, we want to go ahead and keep making them blanks. If you want to go ahead and use the Feline spell, go ahead. You know, use that Feline spell. Go ahead and use it on the Insect Lord that's already, you know, like, created havoc onto the board. You know, that's good. That's good. That's perfect. So again, we go ahead and we make the evolve. We go ahead and make the trade. We go ahead and push 7. So next turn, he is dead. If he doesn't clear, he's dead. We draw a card, we pick up the young Cassio, and we're immediately rewarded for our lines of play. So this being said, he does actually have an out here. Well, not really a full out, but a partial out. Of what he could do here is he could actually go ahead and play Force of Newt, and then, well, if he played it, he would have to play it for 5. So play Force of Newt for 5. You hit this dies immediately. these all take damage. You can then go ahead and use your 2 Feline spells, and then go ahead and clear off these. But you're still taking 3 in the process. You still can't make any relevant plays unless you have a Dragon's Dust, because like the play I just mentioned, it costs 9 mana to do due to like how like Enhance works. And this is good for me, you know, like we kind of like force him into an awful corner because of all the like decisions he's made over the course of this game. So here he plays Dragon Strife Blade. I'm like, okay. He plays yet another Roy. I'm like, okay, sure. To then go ahead and play another Dragon Strife. Okay. To then go ahead and play a Feline spell. Now, so it's currently now what, turn 8. He's had one Feline spell for since like turn 2. He's only just now gone to use it. Like, that's insane, right? Like, utterly insane. And even then, it wasn't even good because like it killed a unit that already hit him in the face for 4, or was it 8? I don't actually remember. Anyway, so this turn, like this is the turn where we can just like click like random buttons, do whatever you want, and just like win the game. Because you used up some number of cards in hand. Now, one nice thing about like these Limworm decks is that you actually play some number of neutrals, just because some of them play say Font of Angels. Some they also play Sun and Moon as well. So even if he does have a Frenzied Drake, now I can just say fuck it and just play into the Drake if I like, because like he can't actually punish me for doing it, because if he plays in the Drake, I then go ahead and just go ahead and get to Cassio his board away and create yet another board that he wants to deal with. And then after he deals with that board, say, oh well, you didn't heal and I have a Jungle Warden, so you're kind of just dead, right? So I go ahead and use up my Sylvan Justice immediately. To be honest with you, you don't even have to use the Sylvan Justice if you don't want to. You can just like play whatever, like, and be a-okay. But I like to be safe, so I go ahead and make these plays. The second I play it on the Venus, he just concedes. Just like he knows it's over. Like it was literally over. Like when that turn 5 thing happened. When the turn 5 thing happened, and he responded with an Avowed Strike. The second that happened, game was over. Game was straight up just over. Simply because, like, for several turns, like, we made his removal spells, we made his very, very strong removal spell, because honestly, like, White Frost Breath or whatever the breath spell they get from Feline, like, that's honestly one of the strongest spells in the game. Like, and it was dead. It was literally dead for so long, it didn't do anything. Like, in the end, like, it had already killed the creature after the creature hit it in the face, because honestly, like, even though the spell is really, really good, it only really punishes, making value trades and things like that. So if you just like strategically just avoid making the value trades that they want you to make, then the spell's just dead. Like, you just like abuse that. Bam. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The video I have tomorrow, we'll be talking about like card drawing versus cantripping. So hopefully you guys will check that out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.